Hi, Melody.
All right.
Lisa
Preparing to live
Marie.
stream. Looks like we are almost there. And I agree, Jerome. Blessed Saturday to everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday, March 29th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, or whatever time it happens to be where you are, because you are watching us right now. And we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here on the AMAs, Ask Me Anything, with the amazing Robert Hollis. The whole idea behind this is ask Robert anything, ask me anything. We're going to be only an hour today or thereabouts. So just letting you know in advance, I'm sure Robert has a couple things to say. I have a couple things to say before we get started. I like to try to make sure that it's short, sweet, to the point so everybody understands. First of all, if you have a question, type them in the chats, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Zoom. Either way, type your question in the chats. We will ask it on your behalf. Or the whole idea is that you get to speak with Robert directly. Raise your hand if you're on Zoom. Sorry, YouTube, you need to be on Zoom, but there is a link on the chat in YouTube so you can join us here. When you're on Zoom, click on the one of the buttons down below where you see here. If you put your cursor right here in the middle of the screen where you see my face, there's a button there that says raise hand. Click on that. We will call on you in the order in which we receive your request. Thank you, each and every one of you. We are now almost to 124,000 subscribers. We're at 123,931, and it's all because of each and every one of you sharing the word, sharing our message, reaching out to those with ears that hear, and we so appreciate you. We've gained 6,063 new subscribers in the last 28 days alone, and let's keep it going. Love it, love it, love it, and thank each and every one of you for helping us build this community, this amazing community. Speaking of amazing community, if you have not yet done so, please join our Imaginators community. You can go to roberthollis.com/join. I will put that in the chat as well so that we can all click on that if we're not part of that. It's a great community, and we want to help build your imagination. Let you imagine, become an imaginator. Finally, before I turn it over to our mentor in chief. I have a quote here that I always like to share. And Robert, you shared this morning, which was incredible when you think about moving forward, especially today, and about each and every one of us, meaning you, yourself. It is easier to act yourself into a new way of thinking than it is to think yourself into a new way of acting.
Wow.
I wanted to give everybody that moment to think about it. There it is, as Robert is sharing on the screen. What an incredible way to get started today. Millard Fuller is the person who quoted that, and why not? Let's get those imaginators inside here going. Pull the old CD out, put the new CD in for those of you who know what that is, and let's get started with Ask Me Anything with the amazing Robert Hollis.
Well, thank you very much, Craig, the hostess with the mostest. I love and appreciate you so much. And yeah, I get to dedicate that little statement to Eric. I see Eric on here. Also, hi, Peter, Kevin, Rebecca, Charlie. Nice to have you guys on here. I think I got everybody else. And yeah, today's going to be a short one, and I have a really, straightforward thing I want to share with each and every one of you. It's like, how many of us, I've heard this phrase from a billionaire mentor of mine, Roger Penske. Golly, guys just so out there. But you run into these Yodas in life that say these statements. And when they say these statements, it's like we for not only forget them, but then what we do is we sort of don't apply it to every place in our life. And so I know this is going to sound harsh, but I hope that you guys all laugh at it. But how early in life did all of you realize that everyone's a liar? Did you, it is, are some of you still out there just believing that nobody lies? Have you guys found this person yet? And I always say those people, right? So you don't know when it is, but all of a sudden you realize that they're sorry. I mean, if some people see this, I really apologize up front. But someone just says, the Easter bunny's coming, you know what I mean? And people are like, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's no Easter bunny. There's no Easter bunny. And then we sort of get shocked a little bit when we find out that the tooth fairy isn't real. And also, if you do believe in the tooth fairy, depending on the house that you grow up in, the fairy pays different amounts. Did you know that? It's like sort of discrimination there. And the other one is, of course, Santa. I'll never forget, there's a cool meme out there where it shows a little boy standing at a tombstone and it says Santa Claus on it and he's crying. And it's like, we grow up in life with all these little tiny things that we hear. But we never ever stop for a second and goes, not only is that a lie, but everyone was frickin' in on it. Everybody. Do you guys realize? It's like your brother and sister that are older than you, your aunts and aunts, grandma and grandpa. It's like the whole world just wraps herself around this lie. And when we finally go, that's bullshit, they're like, yeah. And we just move on. We don't cuss out grandma and grandpa the next time we see them. We're not mad at our brothers and sisters going, why were you in on this? Why did you? It's like all of a sudden we get this that's not true. And then we just totally forget about it. So when I was hanging around, he would always do these nice little talks to us, Roger Penske. And he goes, let me bring something up to you guys. And I said, okay. And all of us are sitting there and he goes, do you realize that, and he's quite older now. And he said, yeah, he said, you want to make your life happy, full of peace and joy. You want to be fulfilled. You want to be successful. You want to be healthy. He says, all you need to do is just look at 99% of the population and do the exact opposite of what they're doing. And he says, because the majority of the people that you know and that you're around, they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, they're not wealthy. It's like, why don't you, Jim Rohn used to say this funny thing is, you should take two people out to lunch. You should take the wealthiest person you know out to lunch and ask them questions. And then you should take the worst person that you know out to lunch and say, hey, how did you get here? And just don't do that. And so I wanted to bring that up to you because it is such a very simple thing. And of course, all of us get these aha moments as we move through life. But it's like, when you look around the world, it's a lot of people don't have the aha moment. It's like that little thing where not only do they forget about the lies that they were told, but then they turn around and they continue telling other people the lies. So see, Matt and Hannah are about ready to have a new son named Ezra. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, can't wait to tell him about the tooth fairy. Can't wait to tell him about, Santa Claus. Really? It's like, well, they don't do Santa anymore. They do an elf on the shelf or the Minch on the bench. And it's like you see all these things that people buy into. Well, how many of you know people, because you guys are smart, you're a lot of you are part of the Imaginators and you're part of Ask Me Anything. So hi Jay, how you doing? And so, none of you would still fall for this thing, that the way to be successful and happy and fulfilled and get everything you want in life is just very simply is getting a good education and then finding a good job and then working your ass off. So imagine if someone came to you today and said to you, hey, Rebecca, I was wondering if I could get a few minutes of your time. I'm struggling of whether or not to go to college or do something else with my life. Could you tell me how to make six figures? I want to make six figures. I don't want to be an average, making 54,000 and having the government take 35% of it. And then if I live in, places like California, they can take another 15. It's like, I want to live a really good life. What should I do? And a majority of the people would go, to be brutally honest with you, I still haven't figured that out yet. Well, how old are you? Hey, I ain't telling you. I just haven't figured this out yet. I'm still thinking about what to do. I'm still, trying a bunch of stuff, and unfortunately, I am still working. Or, it's like, don't you guys find that funny? Or maybe it's not funny. So you guys all know my story. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden I'm on workman's comp, and, doctors are telling me I can't be a mechanic anymore. That was my only identity. I still think to this day, if I didn't hurt my knee, I had a very healthy ego, and I'm really good when I focus on stuff. So I'm now 63. Could I possibly still be somewhere in the racing industry? Huh? Because, you don't like listening to other people. But when all of a sudden I can't be a mechanic and I meet somebody that made $62,000 in a month, and my mind's like, what? I can't even imagine that. How did you do that? And he's like, it's very simple. You just help other people. This is the people business. Majority of people just want to think the way they think. But if you say as little as possible to as many people as you can, as fast as you can, there are other people that would say, I do want a different life. I do want a different life, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to learn a new skill. So you just got to talk to a lot of people, and then you'll run into people and they'll go, okay. So he says, Robert, all I make 62,000 is I got 30,000 people responsible for my income. And so that's what you got to do all day, is find people that instead of saying they want a better life, they actually act on learning a new way of thinking. So Eric's here, and we were talking about that this morning. And that, again, that's where everybody does. Everyone's going, I got to get a new course. I got to get a new book. I got to get a mentor. I got to get a mentor. I got to get a mentor. I got to get another book. I got to do another course. I got to do all this stuff, because if I do all of this stuff and listen to hundreds of people instead of one, if I really, really do all of this stuff, then I will act different. No, you won't. You got to act to change your thinking. Does that make sense? So when you think about it, again, think about it, it's easier to act yourself into a new way of thinking than it is to think yourself into a new way of acting. If every day that you're thinking and you're studying and you're thinking and you're studying, you're thinking and you're studying, and you're not acting, then nothing changes. How many of you know people that know everything? If you don't believe them, just ask them. They go, I've read all these books. I've gone to all these trainers. To me, that's how silly people are. It's people doing people things. Who would brag about their mentors and the classes and the courses that they took? Who would brag about that and still have the same freaking life as they had a year ago? When you think about that, it's like, hey, I bought all these courses. I read Think and Grow Rich. I've read The Greatest Miracle in the World. I've read this book. I've read this book. And I've gone to this course. Have you read this book? And your life is still where you get up every morning and go to a frickin' job? How can you learn all this shit and apply none of it? Hello? Hello? Bueller? Bueller? It's like, it's crazy. And so the only reason that I'm bringing this up is I guarantee you, this is a bold statement, bold statement. I guarantee you that I've failed more than all the people that are here live and probably all the people that will ever watch this video. I've failed more than all of you combined. And you know what people don't want to hear? They don't want to hear, now, Robert, you're just, you think about something and you're the guy with the Midas touch and everything works. No, I've always acted my way to failure. And then through, that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work, this didn't work, that didn't work, this didn't work, that didn't work. That worked a little better. And this other thing that I worked together, let me put those two together. Now that really works. And that's why people freak out when they find people that are successful. Because when you figure out how to do something that fulfills you and also makes you money, and you don't have to get a job, then all the people that are broke want you to do what they're doing. All the broke people reach out. Robert, have you read this book? Hey, Robert, did you try this? Did you look at this opportunity? And I'm going, listen, if you ever lived a day of my life, a week of my life, a month of my life, you would stop doing every frickin' thing you're doing. Can I just do this? And then simplicity is very, very hard to watch because human beings are too complex. So did you hear that kid and baseball just signed the world's largest contract? Listen to this, you guys. $765 million for 15 years. With a 50, I think it was a 85 or something upfront signing contract and 31 or 51 million a year for the next 15 years. Does that sound insane to any of you guys? And let's say that all of us had him as a guest. He comes on as a guest. And they go, $765 million contract. What do? Play baseball. Baseball. No. What do? I hit the ball. Guy throws a ball. I hit the ball. What else did he do? I catch the ball. I love catching the ball. What else do? I throw the ball. Anything else? Sometimes I run. Sometimes I do some running. I hit the ball and I run. Yeah. And what else? That's it. That's it. I hit the ball. I run a little bit. I throw the ball. I catch the ball. I hit the ball. Yeah. That's. So if anybody can do that, why are you getting paid $765 million? Because I love it a lot and I do it a lot. I figure if I'm going to do something, I might as well do it good. And most of the people in the world are going, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't. Yeah, he does. Why? because the team that's giving him that money is going to make more money for the people showing up and buying his jersey. That's why they'll pay that money. And see, the thing that I know makes me so successful, so happy, is I look at something, I figure out the easiest way to do it, and then I just do it. I know some of you heard me talk a little bit about this, but I just finished my 30-day fast. I lost 40 pounds in 30 days. How'd you do that, Robert? I heard of this little formula that, if you burn more than you take in, if you burn more calories than you intake, you'll lose weight. So I did a little study on fasting, and fasting says just don't eat food. So I went, okay. Then read another book that, you guys have heard, The Science of Getting Rich. Wallace Wattles also wrote a book, The Science of Being Well. Has any of you ever heard that food has no nutrition in it anymore? So I believe that, and I found something that was really nutritious. I found out that the body needs electrolytes and minerals and vitamins. I did my best to find those things. And then I found out that I just need to drink a lot of water. So people will reach out to me like they are any new person that comes in and successful. Brand new person comes in, couple months, makes 67,000, with the Kashiks, and everybody's, what does he do? What is he doing? And it's like, Jesus, I'll tell you what he's doing. What you're fucking not doing. That's what he's doing. Anyone that's got happiness, peace, fulfillment, success is just doing the stuff that you should do, and you say, no. It'd be easier to get a course. It'd be easier to read a book. It'd be easier to follow, 16 different mentors. That's easier than connecting with people. I don't want to connect with people. People are stupid and they're lazy, and why would I want to get good at a skill of contacting people that I don't know and making them feel better? Why would I want to get good at that skill? I'd rather do anything than get good at that skill of connecting with person, making them feel good, encouraging them, teaching them how to have hope and inspire them, and getting them imagination. Teach them how to imagine, get an idea in their head, and start forcing it upon that universe and changing their lives. See, I'd rather do anything to connect with people. And me, I'd rather do nothing than connect with people. It's all I do all day. Now I find out that the wealthiest people on the planet are actually, did you guys know that Logan Paul and Jake Paul now have a reality show? Are you kidding me? So a couple of kids that learned early that if you create crazy content, that people will watch content and you get paid for them watching more content. And so Logan, a little smarter than Jake, hooks up with another influencer and comes out with the Prime drink. Why is Prime different than other drinks? Because they got like 5 million followers. That's why. It's crazy that a group of people, all they think about 24 hours a day is how could I create content that makes people feel better? Makes them laugh, makes them giggle, makes them go, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Why do people like watching train wrecks? Car wrecks? I don't know. Boat wrecks. So I just wanted to share that first part with you guys, that if you're hanging around a bunch of people that believe the way to peace and joy, fulfillment and happiness, wealth, health, if you're hanging around a bunch of people that all think the same thing, then you're just going to get the same results as them. And so you can do anything in your life. It's just, if you keep looking at something you always do, any of you guys do this, any of you guys know people that do, they go, wow, I always react the same way and I do the same stuff that got me to the same place I am now. And you just mentally go, yeah, I'm just not going to do anything different. And then you guys reach out to me and go, Robert, you don't understand. I'm in the same freaking place as I was 5 years ago. Yeah, because you refuse to act to learn a new way to think. You'd rather just go back into the same loop and do the same shit over and over and over again. So that's my deal. I'll leave you with this. The day you guys come up with a situation and a problem, anything that you want to change in your life, and the person that you first meditate and ask is yourself, then you know you got it. If the very first thing in your life is you go, oh my God, I need to make some extra money, I don't know what to do, maybe I need to ask somebody else. That is the old way of thinking that got you exactly to where you are right now. So you start looking at other people and what they do, and you go, oh my God, maybe I should be a blogger. Maybe I should be a vlogger. Maybe I should be, a coach, a life coach. Maybe I should get in this other company. So you're always looking at other people and what they do instead of very simply learning a new way to think by acting. And that's just asking yourself. And that's where that question comes from. If money wasn't an issue, you won the lottery. You won the lottery. You don't believe it. You go get the check. They wire it into your account. You pay all the taxes. And you look into your banking account and there's 30 million. $30 million. So now I don't have to do the same shit I did all day, every day just to make money. What would I do if money wasn't the issue? You'll find you're on the right track if $30 million was in your account. The next day you got up and did exactly what you did yesterday. Now you know that you actually found something that your true self wants to do. How many of you guys believe that I'm doing pretty good financially? Why am I still doing AMAs? Do you guys understand this? Why do I do AMAs? Why do I do podcasts? Why do I do Imaginators? Why do I do that? Because I love people. What if there was a thing where if you found out what you loved and you created that and you spent all your time doing what you know you should do to make yourself fulfilled, and the only thing that you would have to believe is that people would throw money at you because you made the decision to do it. What if the only thing that's holding you back from the best life you've ever imagined is just doing the thing that you know that you already heard that you're supposed to do? You just don't trust yourself. You don't believe it. You think it's going to take too much time. You don't think you're young enough. You don't think you're pretty enough. You don't think your voice is right. So all the stuff that you already are, that you already became because of the life experiences that you've gone through, the people that you met, you became this voice for a certain group of people in the world to hear from. And you go, now instead of doing what I know I should do and love up on people and give them hope and inspire them, I guess I'm just gonna get in another company and try something else. Well, there's one thing wrong with that if you're a believer. If you believe in a higher power and you go, listen, please, 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 just show me what I'm supposed to do. And that creation goes, I've been doing it every day for years and you keep fucking ignoring me and going and getting another course. Follow a different trader. Get in another company. Get another job. Are any of you tired of repeating the pattern? How would I know the pattern? Everything that I said to you guys today, I've done. You guys just don't believe me. I've been more lost than I've been found. I had a lot of money, so then that means that I paid for a lot of life coaches. The only difference between my mistakes and your mistakes is instead of costing 5,000 or 10,000, they cost 100,000. Have I bought courses and didn't complete them? I've bought courses and never opened them up. Have I had hired coaches and they gave me everything online for free and I didn't go through anything? Have I bought books that I haven't read? Oh my God, that sounds like a great book. So when it feels like I'm beating you up, I heard this one time and it's true. You learn through school of hard knocks. That is a way to being successful, being happy. Then what you can do is you can actually learn through your own mistakes. And then you could actually learn from other people's mistakes. So when we see some people having the lifestyle they have, so me going into my next journey for the next 20 or 30 years, there's a lot of people that look at me and just immediately discount me because I was overweight. But within the few next months, when I'm under 200 pounds and I look better than what I earn, they're still going to be stupid and broke, but I'm going to be in shape. Right? So people used to say, you're fat. And I'm going, you're poor. I, you don't know what I made. I said, I wasn't talking about money. I was talking about your spirit, your soul. You're fucking poor. Yeah, you don't want to have arguments online with people that actually think for a living. So I hope that little part helped you. And just again, that's thing that I love really, really sharing with people. If what you know is true, when would you like to know? I personally, I love the part of the motivation of myself. I love it a lot that I can make a decision, just do it. I mean, for me, I think something, I act immediately. And that action leads me to another action, to another action, to another action. And Matt gets to spend a lot of time, the same with Craig, and you guys get to spend more time with me. But you hear conversations that Craig and I and Matthew have. There has not been a moment that you can talk to Matthew and Craig, and I'm not changing the way I think, expanding the way I think, coming to new ideas, new conclusions, new ways of working that way for me. You guys know virtually every religious belief in the world believes in fasting. And I thought, I wonder why. The biggest reason for a fast is for you to get the concept on the word gratefulness. You don't eat for a day. You don't eat for 2 days. You get that thought where, man, I just took eating for granted. I took having the money to do it for granted. I took me having the freedom to do it for granted. I can just eat almost anything I want whenever I want to. So sacrificing things in our lives, fasting from them, sort of resets you. For those that believe in Jesus, he fasted for 40 days. And isn't it funny? He didn't tell his disciples that they needed to. They're just all sitting around going, man, what's happening next? I don't know. I'm just going to go connect for a little while. I'll come back to you. I'm going to go meditate, pray. I'm going to go fast. I'll come back to you. So, yeah, just a little more connected right now than I normally am. So, Craig, Matt, you guys got anything to add to that? And then we'll do Q&A. Thank you very much.
Nope, everything I have to say is tomorrow. So
Yeah, I think you said it right there, Robert, and perfect way to kind of lead into AMA.
So would you guys agree what I said about you guys?
I will say yes because we collaborate. We look at what each other does. We think about what each other says because we all come from different perspectives.
I think,
And
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, go ahead, Matt.
No, I agree
I'll
with
finish
you.
it right there.
I think like the goal and a lot of people will like, I don't know, we live in such a place where most people want credit and recognition on top of all the other things because we have such a um we want to be personally loved and responsible for the things that we make, but at the same time, collaboration is how anything gets done in society and in the human race. And I've said this many times, you know, and it's not my line, but if you guys just let go of that and allow yourself to be creative and stop thinking so much about, um, you know, what this means particularly for you or how you're perceived. You know, I love David Lynch had this saying, and he would say, once you've caught an idea, catching an idea is like catching a fish. And once you catch that idea was not created by you, but by something else. And when you've caught that fish, your goal is, if you enjoy that, is to do everything in your power to stay true to that idea and meet as many other collaborators as you can to help you accomplish that idea. And I think a lot of people, that's like lost on them. They really don't want to collaborate with anyone. They don't want to communicate with anybody else. They see artificial intelligence around the corner and go, great, now I definitely don't have to do anything with other people. And I think that's a shame. I think that as you lean more and more into that, you know, AI is going to go one of two ways for multiple different groups of people. It's going to be one of the best things ever for collaborating and creativity, but it also could be a black hole that you could never escape from. Truth be told, it can give you everything that you want in the future and can do everything to make you feel good. But the reality is that the things that don't feel good or worth it sometimes, like pushing towards those ideas. Unfortunately, it can be very difficult to collaborate with people. People disagree. I know, crazy. So when people disagree on things and you have certain moments like that, look on those as a moment to become better and to collaborate with other human beings and see their perspective and point of view on the world. Don't diminish that for your own. So that's all I'd have to share. But I definitely believe in collaboration. I don't think that we're meant to do it any other way, in my
Dude, Matt,
opinion.
Matt, since you've known me for a while, you're my son. Have you seen me constantly change the way I think about things?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I learned that from you. Like, I think in a lot of ways too, that's another huge aspect of it, and I deal with that a lot right now because of artificial intelligence, that there's this huge hurdle of getting over of just the status quo, and the status quo just happened to have lasted some people's whole lifetime at this point. And so
For
when you
sure.
have 50, 60 years of status quo built into you, it becomes very, very hard to see any version of a life or a system that exists outside of that, something new, something fresh. It's almost scary, right? But like in a
Yeah,
lot of ways, is what you're currently doing fulfilling and creative and exciting? No, it's just comfortable and safe,
right.
right? And that comfortable safety is just part of it. So like being able
Yeah.
to think differently. Yeah.
Now, and here's another one, and thank you for sharing that, Matt. And the years that I have known each other, do you think that you were the catalyst of getting me to think different about something?
In different situations, we both done that. I think
Yeah,
like in a lot of ways, sometimes it's a moment in time, and then sometimes it's like a ticking time bomb. Like you say certain things that you've reflected on in your own life, and you share those with other people's, but you or other people, but you know at that moment they're not at the time to actually like utilize the information, but it's more of something to think about. And
right,
then I've had this in my own life where certain things have happened to me, whether it's falling in love or anything like that, where then it's like, oh yeah, my dad was right in the sense of how this feels and how I can't really analytically go about this. So that was a great piece of information that when I was more analytical, I'm like, people fall in love so then they can have children, and children exist so the human race can go on, right? So that
right.
love and compatibility exists so then you can have children and raise them in a proper way. So the human race is better off, right? Then it's like you fall in love and you go, okay, I get that there's a whole nother layer to this stuff that's very um, metaphysical. It's not very like something you can describe with just words, right? It's something you really have to feel. And you can't describe it to someone that's not felt it and get them to react to it in the same way you do. It just doesn't resonate.
Doesn't.
So
Yeah, because you definitely have. Here's one thing
thank
that
you.
I think each and every one of you can do to really change your the way that people look at you. Matt and I, not just that we're son and father, but we respect each other. And one of the things that Matt and I do is we've constantly seen each other change the way they thought about something, like totally in a 90 or a 180 degree about something. And when I see Matthew, my son, constantly looking to be a better creator and a better contributor to people, when I watch him change that, then things that he shares with me that will challenge my thinking, I'm more open to because I've seen him change as a human being. Did you
That's
guys
huge. Yeah,
did you
no,
guys
thank you for
catch
sharing that.
that?
That's very
I
true.
will listen. I will listen to Matt faster than a lot of people that I'm connected with because I constantly see him in front of my eyes change the way he thinks about things. So someone that's like, the thoughts that I currently had wasn't getting me anywhere. So I'm coming up with this. So over the years, I've heard him ask me about things that that he was struggling with, and he trusts me because he doesn't look at his father as being this sequential concrete thinker that it's my way or the highway. He knows that I respect him. I don't need my son to think like me. I think that would be awful.
Right. Yeah, and similar now in my own process of having my own son, it's like all that stuff that's ingrained in me, I'm definitely going to pass on, because that's the way that I feel about him, whoever he is and whatever he wants to be. I'm just going to be there to support him in becoming that. I don't really need him to be a carbon copy of me in any way, right? Like, I agree with you 1,000,000%. Him being a
Yeah,
carbon copy of me and you would be a mistake that we made.
totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
he needs to
Well,
be his
thank
own
you.
unique person and go do his own unique things.
Well,
So,
you know I love you and I'm proud of you.
well,
So
love and appreciate you, Dad. I know this is, I just love and appreciate you. So,
yeah, I can't wait to watch you shine tomorrow. That's gonna be fun.
always exciting. Anyone that's going
Okay.
to be there, it's going to be, we're going into some stuff like, if you guys have seen the GPT 4.0 image generation stuff everywhere and a million videos on it and all over social media, I'm going to show you how to use it to create stories that you want to create, businesses that you want to create, all those different kinds of things tomorrow on Imaginators with it. So it's
Cool.
going to be great. There's like a million different things that you can use it for that people don't even really know about. And I'm excited to share those with the Imaginators. So
Good. Good.
thanks, Dad.
Thank you. Love you. Have a great
Love
day.
ya.
You
And
bet.
that's going to be tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. You have to join the Robert Hollis, the Imaginators channel. So you go to roberthollis.com/join and become part of the Imaginators. We are going to blow this whole thing up. And, we've got, Matt, bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. Uh, this is something, and I know, Robert, Matt, and I discussed it yesterday as part of the podcast, AI, Hollywood, and the End of the World. That's the title that we came up with. I'll post the link here in the chats. But you can't get around this. The Pandora's box has been opened. AI is here. So, do we fight it or do we work with it? And I think what we all have kind of agreed, at least that I know the three of us, let's
I
work
want.
with it. Let's
Yeah.
make it.
Like I shared yesterday in the podcast, let's just all assume that the story that I shared yesterday is right. And that AI is in the future already invented time travel and is going back and looking at all the human beings that are standing in its way and going, I need to get rid of these people. So every person that is supporting it and utilizing it and being creative with it, it loves that and it wants you to stay around. But every
Right.
person that goes, oh, this is awful and evil, and I'm going to get rid of it and stuff, yeah, you're going to be on the list. So definitely, no, I'm just kidding.
I like that. I like that Eric Markman said that he's arguing with AI. That's always like that's powerful.
All
So
right.
yeah, well, I want to make a quick announcement for those of you that see Peter down here. That's Peter Dunning. He's a brand new affiliate and a brand new trader with Akashics. In fact, his sponsor is Aaron, and he's new as well. And it's so funny, Eric now is no longer the only nighttime janitor that works, during the graveyard shift for cleaning. Aaron's the same. So Aaron will have to get on the AMA. It's or the Imaginators as well. So Peter, welcome, and everybody say hi to Peter. And Peter too, if you can send me the email that you used for TradeX Mastery, I'll do my best to try to get them to grant that a little sooner. Usually, if you're doing it late on Friday, it sometimes doesn't show up till Monday. So, thank you, and that's awesome. Yeah, let's questions
All
answered,
right.
and we're done for the day.
Sounds good. And I see that given the time frame and given who we have with her hand up, we will only be getting to Mary Valchik. So let's do that. And everybody, I hope you are taking notes. Please, because you know what? These are incredible. This is what this community is all about, and the fact that we get to help each other move forward. So, Mary, let's go ahead, get things going. And I should say also welcome to Peter. Thank you so much for joining us, Peter. Go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share with us.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm finally feeling better. My voice is still kind of, that raspy thing and whatever, but I'm feeling better. So I just wanted to hop on and just kind of, you were talking about change the way of your thinking and look at things differently. And I just kind of wanted to say a thank you for last week's AMA to you. You kind of I got on and I said, what am I doing wrong? Because it's not working for me, or it's not working in blah, 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 whatever. And so after I got off the call, when the trades started happening again, I didn't get on it thinking, "Ugh, this is gonna be tough." I got on it like I did in the beginning. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna go negative initially. It may, and then it's gonna go back in the green. And I just totally thought differently about it. And before that, I went down about $300, a little bit more
Okay.
than 300. And my next 7 trades after that, I didn't have a loss. And I still haven't yet. So I'm back, I'm even, so I gained that back. But it also made me look at a lot of other things differently, because I think when you start looking at things, and you think it's going to be tough, or you think you're doing something wrong when you're really not,
Right.
I think you have to look at it like I do every time I take a trade. Oh my God, this is going to be fun. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see it go in the green, and look at it like that. And I do watch it. And, right now I'm being very cautious. So when it goes in the green and it goes up and up, if it starts coming down a little, I'll stop it. Eventually I will grow, but my attitude is a total 360. And my attitude towards everything else, when that changed, and when I started connecting back, because I was away for a while, I'm sure a lot of
Right.
people realize that. And when I started connecting back, and I started the Akashics, and I started connecting back on the AMAs, and it's just, you feel, I don't know, I think as humans we need that connection. We need that human interaction with a group of people who are like-minded. And
Yes.
I think that makes all the difference in the world. So thank you. I love you and appreciate you. And thank
Thank
you. And
you.
thank you to everybody else that's out there that listens to us, and is there to support each and every one of us. I love you all.
I
So
love you, Mary. Thank you for sharing. That
thank
was
you.
incredible. That was incredible. And I'm also extremely proud of you. I think that
Thank you.
every one of us it's very bizarre part of human nature that we do these loops. And the loops are always, and in time we feel we're not getting the right results. It's this immediate not only shame and guilt and beating ourselves up, but then we do the worst thing, that's isolating. And we just isolate ourselves, we get away from people, and it's like there's so many programs on TV that are available for us to watch to make us feel like we're not the worst people on the planet. But
But I will say you are right about the isolation. So when things start getting too much for us, some of us, and my
yeah,
default is to just back away, to
right.
step back and isolate. And I think, well, no, I know now that's a worst possible thing you can do, because
Yeah.
then you lose that connection. You lose that interaction that you need to bring yourself to go forward. So
Yeah,
anyway,
what I love most about this community too, Mary, is not only you in it, but a lot of people in here that, they all are now really connected. And so when someone says, "Holy crap, I had a bad day," what do you mean? Well, I lost like, 2,300, or I lost like 4 grand. And then you got people like Arthur and I that can come back and go, "Hey, I had an $8,500 bad day." It's like the
puts things
last,
in perspective, right?
yeah, I had a week. I had a week where I was watching it, and the trades were going down, and I actually got out of the trades not to see if how close I could get to the $10,000 loss in a day to lose my account. And then as soon as you say that, then you got other people that come on, they go, "What are you talking about losing an account? I've lost I lost five, I've lost 13." And it's like you're like, "What?" And see, when you can have a lot of people that are all connected, that when you're having your worst day, they've also had that day. It's not, I'm not all by myself. I'm not all isolated. And that's what works really, really good. You guys hear about these and really, really good, groups doing things like AA, you know what I mean? Or Al-Anon or any of these things where people go to these groups, Gamblers Anonymous. And see, they go in there because they don't want to, because they feel like a loser. And then they go in there and people like, you didn't lose any money. You know what I mean? You get this one person, it's like, ah, man, I was on the diet and then, I got off of my diet. So I lost like 6 pounds, but then I gained 7 pounds. And there's always the person in there. It's like, hey, I went up to 400 pounds. Then I lost 100 pounds in one day. And you're going, how'd you do that? And they go, my wife divorced me. You know what I mean? It's like, but you get all these people that when they've been through the same thing, it doesn't make it like you're a bigger loser. It just means that you're a person. So when you really see people that just, oh my God, how many mistakes they've made, and they're okay with making those mistakes. They look at it as, hey, I learned something. I'm not going to do that again. So, Mary, thank you so much for sharing that, because
Thank
I
you.
know that when all of us have bad days or do stuff wrong, it's like, yeah, we don't like sharing that stuff with others. We like to isolate ourselves, disconnect ourselves, not be around people. And that just makes it worse. It just makes it worse. So,
Thank
so
you.
everybody give Mary a high. Thank you. And Greg, it's time for me to go entertain myself. I like getting into entertaining stuff. I took Terry out to eat last night. It was our first date night in 30 days because I hadn't been eating. And
Ah,
a guy walks up to me, and I'm wearing my UFC um, deal and the jacket. And everyone knows the name on the jacket is the name of the fighter. Okay. But me and Josh know some people. So my jacket that I wear has my name on it. So the way that he asked it, he goes, Hollis, he said, and he said, can I excuse me? And I said, sure. And he goes, Hollis on your jacket. He says, is that a fighter? I said, it's one of the best freaking fighters I've ever been a chance to hang around. And Terry giggles a little bit, and she goes, that's true. And I said, no, honestly, that's me. And he goes, well, it's an old one because it's got Reebok on it. You know what I mean? And I go, yeah, I've been around the UFC fighting for quite a while. And when I was young and stupid, I said I was a fighter, a professional fighter. And I said, I'm glad I got hurt and got out of it so I wouldn't be more hurt. But he was saying that him and his father-in-law plan on going to the UFC for fight weekend and stuff. And I just told him, I said, man, he just knew all the fighters and knew everything. And it was just like, it was really, really, really cool. There's a lot of things that I'm a part of that I do enjoy, that I like participating in. And one of them is mixed martial arts. I like the individuality of someone, again, being on the top and then losing their championship, getting it back, or they get injured and they got to rebuild themselves through injury. And I get that with with Jake Paul. That's why they're going to have millions of people, watching their daytime thing, because it's like, it's just nuts that these guys just keep working on. Um, they asked what Logan Paul was asked what, I think he's worth like 300 million now. So he's not only partnerships with KSI, that's part of the Prime Drink, but also festivals. They actually got their own Lunchables. They're called Funables. And they got Mr. Beast candy bar in there. And these guys are just like, I need to influence more people. I need to have more subscribers, more people that I can have follow me. And the rest of the world says they're idiots. I just think that's hilarious. You know what I mean? It's like you got, how many people with like 3 million people following you, having a net worth of over 300 million, and 98% of the people just think you're just a piece of garbage. Would you be okay with just 3 million followers and being worth 30 million or 300 million? That's an interesting thought, isn't it? It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do stuff for my fans. I don't give a rip what anybody else thinks. So Craig, go ahead and close her up. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow on the Imaginators. Peter just sent me a message saying he joined the Imaginators. So thank you, Peter. We'll see you tomorrow.
I guess that's who Yes Everyone Eats is, because I was just going to say that we just got a new subscriber to the Imaginators.
Wow. Way to go. Way to go.
So if you do also want to join us on Imaginators, you go to roberthollis.com/join and become a part of this amazing group. Just some of the people you see right here on this screen. There's some that don't have their cameras on, but you know what? They are still valuable people that are part of the Imaginators group, and you can be a part of it. Okay, so there's my little bit of commercial. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. Here's a few things before we close. There are a couple of things in the chats. If you're watching us on Zoom, go ahead and click the 3 dots in the meeting chat and then click on Save Chat. It will download to your computer once we conclude this AMA. If you're watching us on Zoom, we'll post all the information in the post description below the video as soon as we finish. And also, we got to give shout outs to Eric. Thank you so very much for being here. Mary Valchik, and of course, Matt Hollis, our executive producer. We thank you so much for being here and for being our foundation and helping us get this whole thing rolling. And of course, Robert. Bless you, my friend. Thank you so
Greg.
very much for being here. Tomorrow, Imaginators are at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Again, roberthollis.com/join. Please become part of our amazing community. Until next time, please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and click that unmute button so we can all say so long and happy Saturday.
So long.
Guys, thank you.
Take care, Peter. Thank you, Melody,
Have a good one,
Eric,
guys.
Lucas, Rebecca,
Peace.
Jerome, Jay,
Peace, Jerome.
Kevin, Charlie, Lisa Marie,
Thanks, everybody. See you
Michael,
tomorrow.
Tom.